Dear students, this is BA Part 3rd class of Paper First, and we were doing literary terms. Students, up till now I have explained to you 7 literary terms in all, including the dramatic monologue, the essay, paradox, antithesis, novel, short story, and problem play. And today I am going to explain you the term symbol. The word symbol is actually derived from the Greek verb symbolein, which means to put together, and the noun related to it is symbolon, which means a mark, token, or sign. So, in short, we can say that a sign, shape, or object that is used to represent something else is a symbol. It's a manner of representation in which what is shown means, by virtue of association, something more or something else. Or, in other words, we can say a symbol is a setting, object, character, or event that carries more than the literal meaning and therefore represents something significant to understanding the meaning of a work of literature. In other words, we can add that symbols always have a literal meaning as well as a figurative meaning. Literal meaning means concrete or say verbal meaning, whereas figurative meaning means abstract meaning or the hidden meaning, the symbolic meaning. And for this, a writer utilizes other figures of speech like metaphors, similes, and allegory as tools. So, a symbol is applied only to a word or set of words that signifies an object or event which itself signifies something else. Now, I just give you an example from literature. It's from William Shakespeare's play As You Like It. In this play, we find symbolic value in Shakespeare's famous monologue in his play As You Like It. And the lines are like this: all the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts. Now, these lines have symbolic meaning. These lines are symbolic of the fact that men and women in the course of their lives perform different roles. They are the players, they are the actors, and this world is like a stage. A stage here symbolizes the world, and players stands for human beings, for men and women. Now, there are two types of symbols. Some symbols are conventional or public, whereas some are private or personal symbols. Thus, we can say that, for example, the cross or the red, white, and blue, or say the good shepherd, these are terms that signify symbolic objects of which the further significance is fixed, means their symbolic meaning is fixed and traditional in a particular culture. Poets, like all of us, use such conventional symbols. Now I'll give you a few examples. Like if you talk about colors, so red is a color which symbolizes blood. It symbolizes passion and emotion, or say love, and it also symbolizes danger or daring, or say bravery. If we talk about the black color, black symbolizes passivity, or say death and even evil. Then white color stands for innocence, purity and light. Green color symbolizes new life, fertility and hope. Then if we take symbols from nature, and if we talk about different seasons, spring stands for birth and new beginnings. Summer symbolizes maturity. It symbolizes knowledge. Autumn symbolizes decline or nearing death or growing old. And winter symbolizes death or sleep. If you talk about Greek mythology, the gods are all symbols for forces of nature. Like for example, Poseidon is a symbol for the sea. He is extremely powerful but also wrathful and unpredictable. By telling stories of Poseidon's vengeful fury, the Greeks symbolically delivered a message about how dangerous the sea can be. So, in this way, authors and poets symbolically express what they cannot express in concrete way. Then we have private or personal symbols which poet or author develop themselves. They use pre-existing symbols but generate a different meaning or significance. Often they do so by exploiting pre-existing and widely shared associations with an object or action. Like for example, the general tendency to associate a peacock with pride and an eagle with heroic endeavor, or to associate the rising sun with birth and the setting sun with death. But some poets, however, often use symbols whose significance they mainly generate for themselves, and these set the reader a more difficult problem in interpretation. We can say that authors usually don't give us a roadmap to their symbolism. So it takes a lot of thought, or say a lot of effort, to figure out exactly what the symbols in a work of literature stand for. So it's a difficult thing to interpret private or personal symbols. Like for example, the word rose, which in its literal meaning is a kind of flower, and we all know this thing. In Burns' line, which is like this: "Oh, my love's like a red, red rose." The word rose is a simile here. And in the lines of Winthrop, he says, "She was our queen, our rose, our star." The word rose here is a metaphor. So, in the long medieval dream vision titled "The Romance of the Rose," we read about a half opened rose. Here we readily recognize that the whole narrative, in which most of the agents are personified abstractions, the rose itself represents the lady's love. So, symbolism is necessary for a poet who wants to say more than what meets the ear, want to suggest something beyond the expressed meaning. Like when Blake wanted to give an idea of the ferocity of nature, he used the image of the bright burning tiger. The sense of mystery and expansiveness, the feelings of richness and complexity a symbol may communicate cannot be communicated ordinarily by other means. Symbols make the language rich and expressive. Concepts which by their very nature are inexpressible can be conveyed with the help of symbols. It's a rhetorical device. It allows writers to expose further truths as they pertain to their message or theme. It also allows them to embrace the beauty or the struggles of life in thoughtful and unique ways. Symbolism is arguably one of the strongest literary devices writers have. And when used properly, it can enhance a piece of writing and provide further insight to the reader. Much can be said behind while hiding behind the symbols that stream from nature and everyday life. So that's all for today, and tomorrow I'll explain you the term free verse. Thank you.